watching girl shows as a guy. I grew up watching girl shows. I grew up watching My Little Pony. I grew up watching Glitter Force. I grew up watching Lolly Rock. Just a lot of stuff. If I'm not watching PBS Kids, then I was watching one of those shows. So let's see what he has to say about it.
Liking girl shows as a guy is tough. Unless your guy friends rock with it, or you're willing to get brother zoned by any girl you're talking to, it's a pretty lonely journey, especially as a kid. As a kid, telling anyone you like girl shows was like giving free ammunition to get absolutely roasted. If you're anything like me, you definitely didn't want any of that heat. So liking girl shows was something you took to the grave until you grow up and realize that nobody cares. Like literally no one.
Yeah.
So in this video, I'm gonna do what Kid Me couldn't and gush about the girl shows I liked growing up. Starting
How did I ever forget you
grow
mentioned
up and
Sophia the
realize
First?
that nobody cares. Like literally no one. So in this video, I'm gonna do what Kid Me couldn't and gush about the girl shows I liked.
I'm gonna gush with you. How could I forget about Sophia the First? Man, like this Thanksgiving, I went to my cousin's house. They started singing King Von, and I'm like, bruh, no. Then she started singing Sophia the First, and everybody, every kid in that house started singing along with her. Sophia the First, bro. Man, Sophia the First was just so amazing. It's gonna be my time.
I was just a girl in the village
Really doing alright, and then I become a princess overnight.
If you don't know what Sophia the First is about, then I have
I
one simple
love Sophia the First. Holy man,
question.
that
How?
is
No, like seriously, how? This show was everywhere back in the day.
It
To give
was.
a brief summary,
It was just
Sophia the First is
amazing.
a show about a girl named
Bro,
Sophia who
I
becomes a
watched
princess
all of
when
it.
the king marries her.
Twice.
She gets this amulet as a gift from the king, and turns out that this amulet isn't just some regular
The amulet of
rinky-dink amulet,
Avalor,
but also
man.
has so much
I did read the amulet too.
This amulet isn't just some regular rinky-dink
I read
amulet.
it back
It
in
also
middle
has
school.
so much magical power that several people in the show want to use it to overthrow the royal family. Now, why would the king give a literal 8-year-old he barely knows anything about something that could put her in so much danger?
He doesn't
I
know.
first came across the show while
So-
babysitting. The kids I was with would cry my ears off if anything else besides Disney Junior was on. So this meant I was stuck watching hours upon hours of baby shows.
Oh.
And one of the only shows to keep me somewhat sane through this period was Sophia
You would
the
go
First.
insane if
I
it wasn't
kid
for
you
the
not.
GOAT Sophia. Bro, I have nothing but good things to say about this show. This show was just peak entertainment, peak everything. I barely watch any show twice, okay? I watched Edge Runners. I love that show, but I've only watched it once, okay? I watched Arcane, but I only watched it once. But Sophia the First, I watched it twice, all the seasons. But then again, that was back when I was a kid, when I actually liked watching stuff and didn't think it was.
The moment I started watching Sophia the First in my
I
own free
hate
time
being
was the exact
self-aware
same
nowadays.
moment I got hit with the strongest 6-month obsession. Like, I remember skipping school to watch Sophia the First.
I
The big
wouldn't do
thing
that. My mom would
gravitated
beat
me
my
towards the
ass.
show
But
was
every
the-
time I came back from school, I'd watch it. I'd watch it before I go to school, when I come back from school. And if I couldn't watch that, I'd be watching Angry Birds or some whatever was on PBS Kids at the time.
Definitely its music. I am shocked to this day that so many people forget how good Sophia the First music is. I can't play
It's
any of the
amazing.
music because of obvious reasons, but please trust me on
course.
this one. Literally search
The
it up on
music is
YouTube
peak.
and have
Just
a listen,
listen to
because
it.
I promise it's good. I really enjoyed all the characters in the show. The only one that sticks out that I didn't like was Amber, at least at the
But there's my favorite. Amber was my favorite there because, sure, she was like, you think she's your typical mean girl, right?
characters in the show. The only one that sticks out
You
that I
think
didn't
she's
like
your
was
typical
Amber.
mean girl because look at her. She just looks like a mean girl. But her redemption was mwah la la. I started off the show hating her. I ended the show with her being my favorite character.
At least at the beginning, when she was at her most snottiest.
Exactly.
Like, I get it, you're noble, big whoop. You know, thinking back on it, I remember the disliking I had for Amber slowly turning into an enormous fictional crush on her. So you know what?
Yep.
Maybe I'm the problem. The only bit
Nah,
of critique I have for the show is
we
that
all got
Sophia
that.
never actually loses her amulet. And yeah, I get it, it's a kid's
I
show, the
mean-
good guys will always win. But after a while, it just becomes so predictable and
Hey, I watched it when I was a kid, so I didn't see that coming, okay? I will say I wasn't very aware as a kid. I watched it when I was like in middle school. But still, it was amazing. I love it, and there's nothing bad about it. 10 out of 10. Beautiful show.
boring. Like, at the very least, add a bit of stake, some drama, something, anything. Like, you gotta understand, after a certain point, I felt like I was watching the same 3 episodes for 3 seasons straight. Sophia the First, despite its faults, is a show that will always
Man.
have a special place in my heart.
Of
Also,
course it
holy
will.
crap, is that Bloom from the hit show?
Wings! Oh my god. I'm fangirling, okay? Okay, just let me fangirl. This is all my childhood here, okay? Winx, MLP, this is all my childhood in this one video, okay? I loved Winx all the way up to the new season when they started using 3D animation. I still watched it a bit, but I don't know. It fell off really hard for me. But the first 3 seasons, mwah, absolute chef's kiss. Finding out Bloom was the Dragon Flame, I didn't know that. Learning about Daphne, her sister, her kingdom, bro, I'm remembering everything I've forgotten. It was just amazing.
And they bust on my eyes.
I'm sure Winx Club needs no introduction, but just
No, it
in
does
case,
not.
it's a show where a bunch of teens transform into fairies, attend a magical institution called Althea College, where they learn how magical powers, it's a show about magical girls.
Magical
Winx Club
girl.
was a fun watch. Most of the show I watched with my sister, but because we were watching on cable, and cable works in funny ways, we didn't start the show from season 1. To be honest,
No.
most of the show I can remember is season 7, so I'll just be talking about season 7. Let me just say that this was truly a show I could not let the guys find out about. Like, sure,
I mean,
Sophia
you
the First was
couldn't.
understandable,
You
but
couldn't.
Winx Club? Winx Club?
Bro,
I took
I
the
had never talked about any of this to any of my friends back when I was watching these because I'm like, this isn't manly. A man can't be watching this and loving it. But I loved it, so I just kept it to myself. Came back when I was out with my friends, when I was in school, when I was at the library. We'd play Roblox. We'd talk about anime. We'd talk about other stuff. But never have I ever brought up any of the girl shows I've watched. Except for My Little Pony, one time.
to my grave, and I wouldn't be surprised if if nobody besides my sister knew that I watched this show. While making this video, I found out that a lot of the Winx fandom don't really like Winx Club Season 7, which is kinda awkward.
I don't remember
because
anything
that's
about
my favorite
Season 7.
I know a lot of the complaints of Season 7 was mostly how the characters were hollow, there was barely a plot, the show
Yeah.
became pushed more and more towards kids and to sell toys, but I guess that
I
just
mean,
didn't
the
matter
animation
to me
didn't do it
because
any favors too. Like, what did I just see?
how the characters were hollow, there was barely a
No
plot,
wonder I don't
the show
remember a lot
became
about
pushed
it.
more and more towards kids and to sell toys, but I guess that just didn't matter to me because oh my word did I eat this show up as a kid. Do I remember any of the plot? No.
Nope.
Do I remember any of the basics of what happened, all the new characters introduced? Also no.
Not
But
in
to
season
be
7,
completely
but I
honest,
remember in
I was too
season 1 and
busy having
2.
a crush on every single one of the Winx Club girls to even pay attention to anything that was happening in the show. But the one part that I really do remember is the music, specifically the music that plays during the transformations. In Winx Club Season 7, they introduce a transformation called Butterflix, and if you've watched Winx Club, you already know what I'm gonna talk about. You know that meme
What?
about transformations in kids shows, like how in Power Rangers they'll just be standing there doing their whole routine while the villains just stand there and watch? Now imagine that,
Yep.
but 3 minutes long. And you know why it was that long?
3
It's because
minutes?
while the world's in danger and evil villains are running around, these girls find the time to have a dance party mid-transformation. Yes, it was dumb. Yes, it was pointless. Yes, it was absolutely
3
memed to
minute
death.
dance
But me
music
and my
video.
sister loved every single second of it.
Yeah, I
think the
remember
reason
nothing
Winx Club
about
was
season
just such a
7.
big part of my childhood is because it was one of the few shows that me and my sister really bonded watching. I mean, I hope we did. Oh my word, that's been a minute. I love this show, and I love this goofy little season that I watched, but it was far from perfect. There's a lot more gold shows I could
Oh
talk
my
about.
god. Ugh, don't get me started on the specialists. I hate
season that I
every
watched,
single
but it was far from perfect.
one of them. I hate every single love interest in this show. Why were they all so incompetent? Oh, even back in season 1 and 2, the one I remember the most, I remember them being incompetent. And also, my crush was the Tricks all day. I can't. I just can't, okay? Golf Girls had ruined my life by that point, alright? Just the Tricks,
There's a lot more
they
girl
were
shows
it.
I could talk about in this video, but
The witches
truly
were just
no other
it.
even
Mwah, the
matches
chef's
the
kiss.
absolute obsession I had with this next show.
My Little Pony, My Little Pony. I love this show. I love this show so much. Not only did I watch it multiple times, but it is the first show I ever showed to my little brother. All right, it is the first show I ever showed him after he got off of that Coco Melon brain rot. And my little brother, my twin little brother here, watched all of it. Do you know how proud I was that my little brother liked the same show that I did? But for some reason, my little sister, does not like it. For some reason, she likes Gabby's Dollhouse, but will never sit down and watch My Little Pony. She needs to grow up and learn what the superior show is.
My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic. There we land. This show is honestly one of my favorite cartoons ever. It's that good. And I know it's that good
Yes,
because
that
of how
good.
huge its fan base is. The amount of guys that secretly liked the show growing up is probably past the millions. MLP, especially back when it was airing, was truly everywhere. It was simply a
Everywhere.
phenomenon that took over the world.
And the thing is, I didn't even know people liked it like that. I just thought it was a niche thing that I liked. I didn't know so many people were like, I didn't know about the Brony fandom until I was in high school. And I'm not talking about early high school. I'm talking about late high school. When I was in like my third year was when I first heard even a peep about a Brony fandom. Because me, I am never in any fandoms. I watch what I watch. I like what I like, and I keep it to myself. All right? I just keep it to myself. Unless my friends bring it up first, I don't bring up what I watch or what I watch. Not until I learned that fandoms were a thing when I got on the internet proper. By that, I mean when I got my computer. Because before I got my computer, which was like, what, 2 or 3 years ago, all I had was a phone and a TV and a PS4. Okay? The PS4 was exclusively for playing Fortnite, Subnautica, and other games. The TV was just to watch Netflix and PBS Kids. That's it. I was never on the internet. My phone was for YouTube and YouTube only. And what did I watch those times? Minecraft Let's Plays, Mr. Beast videos, and I can't remember what else, but I've never discussed any fandom. Not until I got my computer and I went on the greater web. That's when I learned about fandoms.
I could honestly make a whole entire video about my obsession with this show. Out of all the shows I talked about, MLP
anyone
is the
can
only
make
show
an
I asked some
obsession
of my
with it.
guy friends to
A
watch,
whole
which
video.
at least for me was one of the hardest things I could ever convince myself to do. I'm not even gonna insult your intelligence by explaining what the show is about because
Don't.
it's most likely in the thumbnail and it's probably why you click
There's my favorite. Pink Amina Diane Pie. There is my favorite. My favorite pony.
on this video. But if you somehow got this far in the video and still don't know what the show is about,
You have been living under a deeper rock than Patrick Starr. What are you talking about? You are, my guy, you are not from this multiverse. If you've never heard of My Little Pony, you're not from this reality. My Little Pony is everywhere.
I don't know, man. Get a VPN, bro, and
Exactly.
watch it. I still remember
You
my
must
first
be in
time
North
I watched
Korea
MLP,
if you've never
and
heard
my
of
first
this.
thoughts weren't, wow, what a cool show, or whoa, what a trash show made for sissies. It was more like, oh, I don't get it. I don't know what it was, but I just remember being so confused when watching the show, mostly because I hadn't watched a full episode at that point, only snippets near the end of episodes while I waited for something else to come on. But eventually, once I started watching the show properly, I got addicted fast. I would
You
end
can't
up
blame me. That was
binging
just
the
shoving
entirety
coke
of the
down
first
kids'
2
throats.
seasons in one single sitting. And from that moment on, there was no stopping me. Just to give you an example of how quickly the show had taken over my life, I would put reminders on my decoder for every single episode of MLP I could
Damn.
find just to watch more of it. I even voluntarily watched reruns. Who does that? I remember near Christmas time, I was given this magazines with toys in it, and I remember really wanting the MLP toys, but was way too embarrassed to even bring up the idea.
Oh, I feel you, brother. One thing is, so many toys I wanted as a kid that I've never gotten. And the fact is, now that I'm an adult, right? I have a job, I have money, I'm still never going to get them because all of my childish wonder has been sucked out of me, okay? When I was a kid, I'd look at a Rainbow Dash toy and be like, oh, I want that so bad. Now I look at it and I'm like, holy, that's a waste of money. I can't spend money on this. Bro, I barely spend money on clothes anymore. God. I hate growing up so much. It just takes all the spark out of you. You think about, oh, this and that and that. You never have enough money for this. You never have enough money for that. You can never do this. I miss just sitting at the couch, looking at the TV, watching whatever show comes on just because you have nothing else to do and you're a kid.
MLP became one of those shows that lived absolutely rent-free in my mind. So it would come as a bit of a surprise that I actually never finished the entire show. Okay, look, I can explain. Getting Wi-Fi and a PC,
Explain.
which eventually became my main form of entertainment ahead of cable, was definitely part of it, but the biggest reason I dropped MLP was just the lack of community at the time. Of course, with hindsight, I know that one Google search and I would have found an enormous MLP community, but I don't know, I was like 13, I barely
Yeah.
knew how to use the internet. I just remember desperately
You
wanting
can be
someone to
forgiven
share
from
my
that.
MLP
You
love
can.
with. I was like an MLP bomb waiting to explode. But
I mean, I was an introvert, so I can get away with not talking to people about my interests. I just exist with it.
alas, there was no one. Which eventually led to me dropping the show because I thought if no one around me likes the show, then it's probably not that great. Which could have all been fixed by one simple Google search. But hey, it is what it
Who
is.
can
Maybe
blame
one
you?
day when I have a good excuse to watch the show, I'll finish it. But that's probably a long time from now. I think a big takeaway for girl shows that guys like is that for the most part, the reason guys like the shows isn't because they're girl shows, but mostly because they're pretty good shows.
Yeah,
Think
it's just
Powerpuff
a
Girls
good
and
show.
Miraculous Ladybug.
Don't. Miraculous is my fucking drunk, alcoholic, abusive father, okay? I don't want to talk about Miraculous. Oh, bro, I dropped Miraculous and I dropped Miraculous. I have no intention of ever watching Miraculous again. Man. But I loved Miraculous so much, bro. I was deep into the Miraculous fandom. I fucking read Miraculous Ladybug fanfiction. I read that, okay? And the show just gutted me. It gutted me with, oh, Adrian and Miranda can never be together. Will they, won't they? It just gutted me so much I stopped watching it. I dropped it altogether. And to this day, I have not watched a single new episode of Miraculous Ladybug, except for the movie. The movie was the one thing I watched. Alright, the whole restart movie shit, that's the one thing from Miraculous Ladybug I watched. And I fell in love with it again. But I knew they were gonna tug at my heartstrings. So I never watched it again. I never learned anything else about Miraculous after that movie.
They're pretty. Oh, okay, I actually don't know about Miraculous. I
Please,
think it shows
exactly,
like Powerpuff
let's
Girls
not.
and Totally Spies.
Powerpuff
Either
Girls
that
was
or it's
amazing.
just
I
acceptance
have
through
never watched Totally Spies. Like, I know. It seems really popular. I've never watched it. I never actually heard about it until a few years ago.
exposure, because let's be real guys, I feel like a lot of guys that like these shows have sisters who guarded the remote with their lives, and what starts out as an annoying show you begrudgingly watch slowly becomes something that you really appreciate. I really enjoyed
Luna,
working
my
on this
second
video.
favorite
I don't mind
pony.
making a part 2 on this video, like girl shows that guys like, but it's like reality TV based. Like, where's my 90-Day Fiancé fans?
I have no idea what that is.
But yeah, this video should be coming out like very late. I actually started this video.
Thank you for that amazing deep dive into my childhood. I just got so excited from that. Great video. Give you the like. Great video. Oh, maybe there's a part 2. Let's check. Maybe. Maybe. No part 2. But still, amazing video.